So if you're a nurse or maybe even a CNA and you've been thinking about starting an NEMT business, a non-emergency medical transportation, in 2026, before you go and spend a single dollar on this and before you pour months of your time and energy into it, I want you to think about this first, because the way most people teach you to start this business is the same exact reason many others fail. They go and drop 30 to 40 grand on a van right out the gate. No, then that van is on the driveway for months while they can't make a single dollar. They pay for the van, they pay for insurance. No. So this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how to avoid most common mistakes people make when they start an NEMT business. And then I'm gonna show you how to actually start it in a way where you got cash coming in from basically the first week. Yes. But before we even get into that, let me quickly tell you why I'm even worth listening to, all right? I'm Joe, I'm a nurse, and I spent years working in ICU. That's intensive care, all right? The most intense floor in the whole hospital, all right? And then I moved into running an entire assisted living facility. So I was in charge of care from a whole building full of elderly people. And right now I run non-emergency medical transportation business that I'm about to break down for you. So when I explain how this works, I'm coming from somebody who's actually lived in every side, the medical side, the operations side, and now the transportation side. And the reason I'm even making this video is because almost everybody is teaching some outdated stuff, outdated playbook from years ago. Then I realized I can't let this slide. I can't stand for that. And nobody's actually telling you the truth about what it takes to start one in 2026. So that's what I'm gonna help you do and help you understand today. First, I'm gonna be straightforward. Whenever the market in 2026 is actually still open, all right? For someone who's just starting out or whatever, or just researching, all right? So I'm gonna let you know if it's too crowded for a beginner to break into. Then I'm gonna show you the #1 reason most people who start this year are gonna lose money doing it. And honestly, it's probably not what you're expecting. And then I'm gonna give you one thing that separates the people who start getting paid from the first few weeks from the people who blow entire savings on a van and watch it sit there for months and eventually just give up. So if you're serious about this, stick with me the whole entire way, because getting this one thing wrong is exactly what makes most people quit before they even see actual dollar. So let's start with the very big one. I give you a word that it might be too late to get into it because it's July of 2026. But when you look around, it feels like everybody and their mother is actually doing it. But I've been in this industry for a while now, and I'm telling you right now, that's not the case. There is more opportunity right now than there's ever been, than there ever will be. And let me explain why. Right now, in America, there are around 73 million people who are 65 years and older, and a huge number of them need to get to the same medical appointment. And these medical appointments are 3-4 times a week, and pretty much for the rest of their lives. Think of dialysis, think of chemo, think of heart treatments and stuff that's scheduled out a year in advance. These American people can't physically skip these, and they physically cannot drive themselves. So here's what that actually means for you, all right? You build this once. You build up your group of clients once. And after that's built, you've got a steady set of people who need the exact same ride every single week for years to come. So that's already predictable income you can actually build a business on. And you're not riding on these crazy ups and downs that come in almost every other business you probably already tried before and didn't work. So on top of all of that, a lot of these older folks actually have money. Think about your grandma. A lot of them own their houses outright. They've got savings. Some of them come into money from their family. So paying $50 to $100 a ride to the doctors is nothing to them. And because you're a nurse, not just some random guy who bought a van last week, they trust you with their sick mom or their grandma in a way some stranger would never be able to gain that trust. This is why I teach nurses, because you guys went into school for this. You know the care that needs to happen, that needs to be in place for someone who is fragile. And so these families are more than willing and happy to pay you well to do so. So what I need you to do is put it all together. The demand is there, and the demand is massive and is growing every single day. So the people who need it can easily afford it, and they're actively looking for somebody like you. that they can trust and take care of their family. Now, when people tell you that this business is too saturated and people say don't get into it, thinking about it, they actually have a point, but only about one specific corner of it. See, almost everybody in this industry signs up with these middlemen. This is what we call brokers. The brokers hand them a big stack of super low paying rides, then everybody's fighting over it, right? So you're stuck taking whatever scraps they decide to give you at whatever price they decide to pay you. So yeah, that side of it is completely trash and shit. But this is completely different because why? We walk into facilities, local facilities, assisted living homes, clinics, hospitals. We go talk to the actual person who books rides, all the rides. And the thing is, because you're a nurse, they trust you the second you talk to them. You build a real relationship, you land the contract directly. And now you're in a completely different game than everybody else that's crammed into the broker system. So think about it. The market is really wide open, but just being in a good market doesn't mean you're actually gonna make money. Let's be real. And this next part is exactly where I watch people lose everything. They drain their savings, then they go take out a loan for a van, and a few months later, they're more broke than ever and more stressed than ever at their nursing job. So let me show you the exact mistake so this would never happen to you. And the thing is, most people get into this thinking the only way to do it is through the government Medicaid route. So they run out and drop $30,000, $40,000 on a van right away. And then they go apply to a Medicaid program. But when you apply and bill Medicaid, it takes them somewhere between 2 to 3 months just to approve you. And for a lot of people, it's not even guaranteed you will get approved at all. So picture this. You've already spent $40,000 on a van, and now you're just sitting there for months waiting for a payment from the government. Or even worse, for them to even say yes to you. And for every single month you're waiting, you're paying a few $100 on insurance. Another few hundred and more on your van payment, right? And all this money is just going out of your pocket, not in, out. It's literally walking out the door. Why? Because that van is literally bringing in nothing. You're not getting no clients, you're not doing no rides. So this is not what I want for you. And then after they finally approve you, the thing is, the government pays you almost nothing per ride, like 40 to 60 bucks, maybe not even that. And you can't even negotiate with them. They just tell you, you get what you get, you don't have a fit. So you could just laugh at that like, that is crazy. So to make any real money off of this, you're driving all day long. We're talking 12 to 14 trips, rides a day from the morning, sun up to sundown. No, you're literally gonna run yourself straight to the ground. So I don't want you to quit your nursing job to escape the grind. Then now you're right back in the same system. So no, expect this time where most people just throw in the towel and give up. They got a $40,000 van and they're waiting for Medicaid. It's wild. So none of this is the business fault. It all comes down to what? One choice that they made at the start. They built their whole business on banking on the government. And on top of the government, these lower broker rates, that's the exact same thing that sinks people every single time, guys. So let me give you a real world example real quick on how broken that side of it is, all right? There's a huge company called Modicare. It's one of the brokers. They're the biggest brokerage in the entire country. They handle something like 70 million rides a year, and that was in 2025. So in 2025, they basically went bankrupt, and the whole company just fell apart. And everybody who puts money into it lost it. And check this out. The demand for rides are actually stronger than ever, right? People need them more than before. So the company still collapsed because the money in that broker system was so thin that even the biggest player of the game couldn't survive it. So think about that. So if the giant of the whole industry can't make money off these low broker rides, what chances does a beginner have building their whole entire business on the exact same thing? That's exactly why you never let the government be the foundation of your business. And real quick, before I show you the actual solution, if this is helping you out at all, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. And because I put out the honest version of how this business actually works, the stuff the old heads in the industry would never tell you. And if you're already sitting there thinking like, dang, this might be for you, I've got a link in the description where you can book a free call with me and my team, and we'll go through your exact situation, your exact state, and figure out whatever this makes sense for you. All right, so let's keep going, and don't forget to drop a like. So the thing that separates the people who start making money right away from everyone else that doesn't is they start with private pay from the very first day or week, right? Instead of sitting around waiting for the government. Private pay just means a customer pays out of their own pocket. And the thing is, you get to set your own rates. Like, it's great. So instead of 40 to 50 bucks a ride, you might be charging 80, 100, whatever the rate is going in your state, in your area, in your city. And this is where a nurse comes in. I want you to listen very closely, because this is an unfair advantage that you have. From your very first week, before the van is even ready to be in your hands, before you have the key, you go into these local facilities, these dialysis centers, these assisted living facilities, and these hospital discharge offices, and you sit down with the person who books transportation. And because you're a nurse, they trust you right away. Instant trust. You leave them your rates, you build that relationship, and you line up real paying customers before you even spend big money on a van yet. So by the time you're already up and running, you already have people to pay you these higher rates. And then if you still want to say, hey, I want to do Medicaid and I want to get paid from the government, you can build that later on. So you get both of the best worlds. We can call it a little bonus. Now you have money coming from private pay and the Medicaid side. And the thing is, I have a couple right now in Georgia, husband and wife. They're moving crazy fast. Like, it's been 6 weeks. So they basically got their van and their insurance is about to close. And the thing is, they already have a discharge planner lined up to send them private paid clients the second they're ready to launch. Multiple. And they haven't even started yet. And they already locked in relationships that are gonna pay them from week one. Like, people in NEMT is unheard of, the method that we're using. So, but I'm gonna be straight with you for 1 second. They haven't collected their first big check yet. So they're brand new, right? So I'm not gonna sit here and tell you they're gonna pull in $10,000 a month, because they're not. But they set the whole thing up the right way from day one. And that's exactly why they're gonna get paid while everyone else is still waiting around for approval letter. But I'm gonna be real with you again. If all you want to do is just buy a van, sit back on your couch and let the money come in without lifting a finger, this isn't for you. So I don't wanna waste your time. The whole thing runs on you being early and actually getting out there and talking to these people, building these relationships in person, shaking these hands. So if you're not willing to do this part, you're gonna have a hard time with this. But if you're willing to get up in front of these people and do that work that needs to be done up front for a few months, I honestly think this is one of the best businesses a nurse can start right now. I can bet my whole savings. So that's the honest answer to whatever, if you should start one of these in 2026. The opportunity is absolutely still there, probably bigger than it ever will be, bigger than it's ever been, but it's only if you do it the right way and start with private pay. So you start with private pay first, build these relationships, instead of throwing your money on a van and waiting on the government. But if you want me to actually look at your specific situation in your state and tell you what it would take for you specifically, there's a link in the description to book a free call with me and my team. And I know a lot of you are considering how much it even costs to get one of these off the ground. Great question. The honest answer depends on your state. Some are cheaper than others. Just sit on this, guys. Don't let another year go by. We're in July of 2026. What do we have? 5 more months in this year? Because people who actually win in this business are always the ones who stop waiting and start moving. So link in the description to book a call. I'll talk to you on the call later.